Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is not the sideshow.
Nope.
This is not the undercard.
Nope.
This is the main event.
Hell yeah.
Ryan Baldwin sitting here ready to talk sports with my left-hand man sitting on my right-hand side, the one and only Mason Shepard.
You know
and
it,
I got
man.
that backward because you're actually on my left-hand side.
You know
my
it,
right-hand
man. You know it, man. It still works.
It's,
in verbiage.
I could have just gone with it. Nobody would have even noticed. Oh, man. We got a little Tootsie Roll pop there?
It's gum in the middle, actually.
Oh, gum. Oh, it's a blow pop.
Blow
then.
pop,
There
yeah.
you go. Okay. So, blow pop tier list. What's the best flavor?
Strawberry.
Strawberry? Okay.
Strawberry, green apple, cherry. That's
Okay.
where we're going.
That's fine.
You got a favorite or
Not really for like
suckers
or anything like that. I mean, I'm just kind of like basically not grape because I think fake grape is like one of the worst fake flavors.
It is.
Like because fake grape is not like actually grape, right? I've never had a grape soda and go like, wow, man, it's like
that's the thing. Okay, so when you have like grape soda or even to be honest, grape jelly, it's like why can't grape candy taste like this? Like it's unbelievable. But you know, hey,
if I had to pick one, I'd probably go like watermelon. Watermelon's usually pretty solid across the board.
I can't go for that for obvious reasons. But
what's that supposed to be? I don't understand.
But no, okay, at least it's not orange. Orange
True.
is terrible.
True. Orange Crush, like orange soda's not awful.
Okay,
or like
orange
a nice
sodas.
Jarritos is pretty good, but
Orange sodas aren't bad when you don't have them for a while. Like say for instance, if you drink one and then like 3 months later you have another one, it tastes better. But when you drink one, then you have another one
like
a week later.
Back to back.
It's like
like if I have an orange soda, I'm not having an orange soda the next day.
Exactly. You know, you can't do that to yourself.
So should we get to the sports?
I mean, there wasn't a lot that went on, and I'm pretty sure the folks were entertained.
We should do that more often. A little like candy tier list. So we're gonna start off with something a little bit different. We're just gonna do something we're calling just the weekend roundup, where this is basically stuff that we're not gonna spend like 15, 20 minutes on each, but it's stuff that was notable
It's stuff
and should
that
be
happened.
talked about.
You know, Tiger Woods, saying that he was going to play in the Masters, which is...
So let's just start there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like we have one of the greatest athletes of all time. I know people... it's weird to hear that about golf, but it does take a lot to be a golfer. As boring as the sport might be to me and other people, it does take a lot to be a great golfer.
Yep.
And for him to be able to do what he's done, one of the greatest athletes of all time... So good for him.
14 months ago, he was in a hospital getting a rod inserted into his leg.
Yeah.
After that single car crash. And then 10 months after the crash, he played in a tournament, but it was just like a one-off champion that he got to play with his son, Charlie. And then, over the weekend played in the Masters, which is one of, if not the premier tournament in the PGA.
Premier tournament.
And shot a 1 under par in the first round. So, pretty good. But even watching, you could tell that he was like not 100%.
Well,
he was a little gimpy going up and down.
I think here's the thing with someone like Tiger Woods. It's the same thing with someone like Serena Williams. Like for the last 5 years, she's been getting beat a lot. But she's won more Grand Slams and Wimbledons than anybody in history. And Tiger Woods has won almost more tournaments than most golfers.
I think Nicklaus has
Nicklaus is above him, but still. One of the great. I can't tell you how many green jackets this guy has.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So I think when you're
just go ahead.
Yeah, I think when you're one of the GOATs and you're older and I was about to mess up there. I think one of the GOATs and you're older and stuff has happened to you to the point where it has caused you a physical infirmity. It's like, you may not win, but you've won a lot.
But he ended up 47th. He at least made the cut after the first 2 rounds. He shot a 1 under, 2 over. And then back-to-back 6 overs, which was not great at the end. But again, he was hurting. You could tell just watching him. So for him to even go out and complete the whole thing and make the cut and end up 47th, he made $43,500 off of it. Can't argue with that.
So as you say, he's better than Jordan with the Wizards. Since we're talking about people at the latter part of their career.
I don't even know how to answer that.
No, because I just like taking shots at you about Jordan because you do it to me with LeBron. So I have to take shots at you about Jordan.
Well, if we're going to go with LeBron, then why don't we just go with... We'll save that for the NBA. No, because we have a whole section on the NBA.
I mean, that part of the NBA that we're going to get to was not a surprise.
I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait. Next segment, I get my revenge. Stay tuned. Stay tuned on that one.
Oh, boy.
MLB opening weekend was this weekend, and the Texas Rangers went 1-2 against the Blue Jays. proving that just because you spent $500 million on a middle infield doesn't mean you fixed your pitching.
No, I don't think that's ever what
They
that
gave
means.
up 10 runs, 4 runs, and 6 runs. And the only reason they won the third game is because they put up 12, which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, you give up 20 runs over 3 games, averaging 6 runs a game. It's going to be hard to win.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, look at the bright side here. There's baseball.
There's baseball.
This
And I
may
know
not be
you don't-
good baseball, but it's baseball.
And tonight, or this afternoon, actually, 3:05 start is the home opener for the Rangers. So that should be fun. I think this is the second season now where they've had fans in the stands at the new stadium.
That's a mouthful. Say that 5 times
fans
fast.
and stands, fans and stands. And it's about what I expected from the Rangers. I figured they would not be last in the division, and that they would be like third, maybe fourth. But like I said, just because you added they did add some great pieces.
Yeah.
The pieces are there, and they're going to be there for a long time. But this season, they have not done enough to fix the rest of the team to make it anywhere like you might sneak into a wild card. But it's not. Don't expect a World Series run this seison.
Yeah.
Unless there's a miracle that happens somewhere along the line.
Maybe. You never know.
No. A few major deaths in the football world. The first one, of course, being Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, that's a weird situation because from the story that's being told, the story's even a little weird because it's just like, why was he getting out of his car and running in Miami well, not Miami, but like South Florida traffic on a busy highway? Why we don't know, but like, because it wasn't really a scandal, but there was a situation with him and his wife, his current wife, where she punched him in the face. He lost a tooth, all that stuff, and people weren't really clowning on him. It wasn't like a Will Smith Jada situation, but like I know for me personally, my family and I, we told our jokes and we had our serious conversations about it. But then to hear that he died, it's just one of those things where it's like, it was kind of surreal, and this is no knock on him, God rest his soul, but it wasn't like he was like a Kobe figure. And when Kobe died, everybody just you remember where you were when you found out when Kobe died. But this is still very shocking and heartbreaking for the family and the Steelers organization. And the Buckeyes, he had a good career there, so they'll probably retire his jersey. So
yeah, he's being honored in the spring game today by the Buckeyes. He had a great career with the Buckeyes. He had set Big Ten conference records for single-season passing yards and touchdowns as a redshirt sophomore in 2018.
He was the one. Haskins was the one out of the Ohio State quarterbacks that could actually throw.
Yep. He was a Big Ten or all Big Ten player and a Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week 6 times. And then got drafted by the Washington football team, but they were under a different name in 2019. Or I guess we're going to go with the Washington Commanders now.
No, I'm still calling it the football team.
Okay, the
that name
WFT
sucks.
Had several meh seasons and then went to backup and third string over at the Steelers. Apparently was really liked in the Steelers organization, according to all the posts that have come out about him. But yes, very sad, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the Haskins family.
Of course.
And then another one that was Cowboys-centric, Rayfield Wright, who was a Hall of Famer and a Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman who went to 5 Super Bowls with the Cowboys back in the the 70s era. Died on Thursday. And I did, obviously, this is way before our time, but I did talk to my dad, and he was like, he remembered that there was just a really good offensive line. 4 English, or hold on, apparently Brad Sham came up with a nickname for him. 4 Englishmen and a Scot was the nickname for the offensive line, but for the Cowboys. And his nickname specifically was Big Cat. 13 years, and originally a tight end that got moved over to playing tackle, and was 6'6", 250 back in the 70s, which was big.
Yeah, that was
pretty big back in the 70s. So yeah, he passed away over the weekend, and then a former Dallas Cowboys running backs coach, Gary Brown, who also played 8 seasons in the NFL, died at 52 due to cancer. So a couple of losses for the Cowboys organization. And again, thoughts and prayers out to those families there.
Yeah.
And then we did a little UFC segment on Sports Zone Thursday, and the fight that I wanted to watch, which was Alexei Oleinik, who is like a 44-year-old Russian dude. And I'm like, dude, so here's this picture. I mean, this man looks like he's like an uncle.
Yeah.
And I watched this fight, and this man tapped out this 29-year-old in the first round so quick. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, as much as he looks like an uncle, he also looks like Jason Statham. So the
A
only
little
reason you
bit.
can say he doesn't is because of the ears, the
It's
way they're pointed.
Statham mixed with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
There's something about him, and I'll post a picture on this. I'll just like kind of slide this out during editing so y'all can see it too. But he looks like the uncle that's like, oh yeah, and then he just whipped this poor boy.
Sounds about right.
And of course, the main event fights there were Alexander Volkanovski, who took down the Korean Zombie, which, by the way, is like top 5 MMA nicknames for me.
That scared me as a kid because I remember watching television and I saw, back when Dish did those pay-per-view ads, and that was the graphic with the Korean Zombie with him zombified. And as everybody, if you don't know me, I'm zombophobic. I have terrible zombie phobia. I can't deal with it. So I've always wanted him to lose on that alone because I can't deal with that. That word, ugh.
So did you skip the Marvel Zombies episode of
No,
What
I
If?
watched it because that's Marvel related.
Oh, okay.
So like that Thriller because it's Michael, stuff like that. Scooby-Doo, I'll deal with it. Regular show, but no, under no circumstances.
No Walking Dead.
Oh no,
No 28 Days Later.
Unless you want me to stay up at night. Nope.
Well, now I know how to get you to stay up at night.
Ryan,
We'll have a movie party.
Ryan,
We'll do it. Zombie. What about Zombieland? That was like comedy zombies.
Nope.
Still no?
Nope.
Okay.
If there's any look, this is off topic, but I mean it works. If there's anything because it's a zombie film, if there's anything graphic to where it's like zombies are gnawing off people's ankles or because I tried to watch Shaun of the Dead and couldn't do that.
That's a great one.
Yeah, but couldn't do it when the nerd's got his guts pulled out at the end. So no, anything I just don't do.
All right. Fine. Anyway, yes. Volkanovski beat the Korean Zombie to keep the featherweight title, and then Aljamain Sterling beat Petra Yan to hold on to the bantamweight title fight as well. That kind of wraps up the weekend.
Yeah,
I think Tiger Woods was the big one.
Yeah.
And of course, we should mention that the actual winner of the Masters, probably, which was Scotty Scheffler, won it for the first time. So congratulations to him. He definitely earned it. He finished about, I think he finished 2 strokes ahead of the rest of the second place. He did double bogey on the last hole,
Wow.
which was kind of nerve-wracking because we were watching it. Like I was working the bar and we were all watching it, and he missed his putt, and we're all like, "Oh, if he misses again, this could be bad." And in my mind, I was going like, "This could be the greatest collapse in Masters history." But luckily, he pulled it out, finished it off, won himself a green jacket, and so congratulations to Scotty Scheffler. I know you're such a big golf fan. Your eyes glazed over like mine did when y'all were talking about wrestling.
Hey man, it's congratulations.
No big wrestling news from the weekend?
I mean, as far as
Not a 30-minute diatribe.
No. Well, I mean, Russo and Jose are here.
True.
So, as far as wrestling went, honestly, no, there's nothing really that's come. Well, former wrestler Tammy Sitch, who was also known as Sunny, is being prosecuted. Well, yeah, because she's been in and out of jail like 17 times with 7 DUIs.
Oh, yep, that'll do it.
And this time she actually killed a 75-year-old man. So
Maybe they should stay locked up.
yeah, she's been able to avoid that for who knows how long. But but other than that, no, nothing really big, just major happening in wrestling. So you get spared, this week.
Yes. Love it. Well, we'll take a break then. That concludes the weekend roundup. We'll probably do this a little bit more just because as we get,
Yeah.
as we kind of hit the little slow part of sports, or not slow, but like more to the
No, you're right.
day to
Slow.
day kind of stuff. But coming up next after the break, the NBA regular season is officially over, and we got playoffs with my favorite, the play-in tournament starting tomorrow. We're gonna take a look at that. What, you don't think that the play? If
Not
you
even
haven't,
close.
if you haven't watched my me and Jeremiah's
Russo's, yeah.
back and forth on the play-in tournament from last week, you really should. It's very enlightening.
You get to see Ryan in a different light.
I don't get mad very often, but
He
I got
really
mad
doesn't.
there. All right. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll come back, and we will talk about the NBA. Don't go nowhere.
Skidoo boom.
Welcome back to the main event.
Done.
Ryan Baldwin still here with Mason Shepard.
Boom.
What flavor are we on to now?
Green apple, man.
Green apple. Well, green apple is not a good segue into the NBA, but we'll take it.
You could have been like, some teams didn't get the green light to go to the playoffs.
There's no playoffs for the team in the Big Apple, as the New York Knicks have missed the play.
I give that.
You like that one?
It's just
If I had
like,
had more time, I could have come up.
I
with
mean, it works, but it's just like, I hear Knicks fans now be like, no,
Don't say that again. No, we don't want that.
screw this guy. We never make the playoffs. Get it right.
The NBA regular season is over, and the Mavs have made the playoffs as the 4th seed this time instead of like the 5th seed. Like
Oh wow! So we bumped up one.
We moved up a whole new seed thanks to Jason Kidd as coach, because
Don't tell Jennifer that.
nothing changed from last season besides.
Do not
Jason
tell
Kidd.
Jennifer that.
I will tell that to her.
She still
face.
wants to. She still wants to stretch him.
Oh, we were supposed to. We'll do that next week. I forgot we were supposed to do that.
Yeah, but I think she's kind of busy right now.
Sure.
Because she's got a list of
At,
stuff.
at some point, we'll bring Jennifer on so she can bring us her list of
totally,
athletes she wants to fight and thinks she can take on.
Yeah, we
which
definitely
should be
forgot
a great
about that.
segment.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that one. But anyway, Western Conference shakes down like this. Phoenix Suns, #1 seed, back-to-back years. Man, dude, I'm just saying, I know he won't win MVP this season, but Chris Paul has got to be up there in terms of the impact he makes on a team. Because like before,
without
the
a
season
doubt.
before Chris Paul came to the Suns, they were like didn't even make the play. I think that was the bubble, and
it was the bubble.
They didn't make the playoffs. They were part of the teams that were invited, but they didn't make the playoffs at the end. And now they've been back-to-back #1 seeds. Obviously, Devin Booker's the star, and they put a couple pieces there, but Chris Paul is the one that's really taken the team to the next level.
Let's flashback. Did we ever think we'd be talking about the Suns like this?
No. I think there's some
Like when there was Nash and Stoudemire, and then before that when there was like Shaq when he was playing with them.
I think that's the last time they were this good.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah. The only other good thing to come out of Phoenix was Sean Marion to the Mavericks, and we got that. And he was a good
that shot, man.
That was a beautiful shot. It hurt every time to watch it. It's like
I can't
the
understand.
Sean Marion shot and the Phillips River throwing motion where he like shot puts it, and he never he like just shot puts it, and you don't think it's gonna go anywhere, but all of a sudden it rockets out of there.
I don't
Great.
understand. I just like it wasn't even just if his feet kicked out at the bottom, so it's
And don't forget the free throws where he didn't even jump too. It was just a little. Whoop.
Yeah, Sean Marion. Oh God.
So the Suns take the
Sean
1
Marion.
seed, and they'll play the winner of the second winner of the play-in tournament, which we'll get into. God, I love the play-in tournament. The Memphis Grizzlies get the #2 seed. Ja Morant has succeeded, and the Grizzlies put pieces around him. And man, I'm actually looking forward to it because Ja Morant is just one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah.
It's
He's
like,
very exciting.
It's Derrick Rose right before his injury.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's that same level of high flying, great defense. He'll attack the rim, and he's athletic.
So basically, he's like slash your Derrick Rose because that's
Yeah.
what Rose is.
Yeah, and but again, pre-ACL injury, because that was
I hated that for him. Derrick Rose was
never the same after that.
was going up, man. He was going to
Yep.
be the second
They
coming.
were poised for a good run. They were starting to put
yes,
pieces around
people
him.
were calling him Jordan Jr. And
Yep.
then knee injury.
And then Golden State Warriors third. Curry actually may or may not be fit for round one, but they've not done terribly without him during the season. So, not too bad. They're the Warriors still. They're still solid.
It's like
Kerr has been a ridiculously good coach for a long time now, so you can't count him out ever.
What you expect.
Yeah. Mavs, fourth seed, and of course, the major issue that came out of last night's game was Luka Doncic going down with calf strain. And as Dallas fans know, calf strains can apparently hobble a person for 2 months afterwards, as we found out with Dak Prescott, because he was never the same after his calf strain.
And there we go.
Got to bring it full circle. So, no timeline on what his recovery is, but he didn't make it back down the court, and he went straight back to the tunnel as soon as he pulled up, running back down the court. So, not something you want to see. The Mavs don't play until Saturday, so you do have the whole week to figure out what you're going to do, but you will be facing the Utah Jazz, who are a solid team, the fifth seed.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Gobert and Mitchell have been ridiculously good again, and facing them without Luka, you might be headed for another first-round exit.
Yeah, but again, this is the main thing that's blowing my mind here. Think about the teams we're talking about here. The Suns, the Jazz, the Grizzlies. When I was growing up, they were the losers.
True. Yeah, Grizzlies had...
It was Zach Randolph.
And then
Mark Gasol.
Yeah, Mark Gasol, the other Gasol brother. But
and
they were very mid-tier. They were always hanging around that 11-9.
Yeah.
They were never bottom, but they were never going to make the playoffs.
The Suns were bottom.
Yes.
And then the Jazz, I remember, if you're a 2000s kid, you know these names. Carlos Boozer and Deron Williams. And everybody was like, is it Darren Deron?
Didn't he go to the Mavs for a hot minute?
He did.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He very much did. He did. Darren. Just get to the point you're about to gloat about, Ryan, because I know that look in your face. Just get to it.
Well, we got it. No. We got to take our time, because number 6, Denver Nuggets, with the MVP for the second year in a row. My bet, at least. I picked him last year. I picked him again this year. Nikola Jokic has been put up. The only reason I'm picking him again is because he's put up better stats this year than when he won MVP last year. And I'm like, how can you not give it to a guy who's put up even better stats? He's the first NBA player ever. 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists in a season.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, on that point alone, you got to give it to him.
And maybe going to Embiid though.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the playoff tournament, or the play-in tournament. God, I love this. The Minnesota Timberwolves will play the LA Clippers. So 7-8 will play, and that'll determine the 7th seed. And the Timberwolves got Karl Anthony Towns and a couple of good players around him, but they still seem like they need a couple, maybe a year or two. The Clippers, I don't think Kawhi is even playing still, right? Kawhi Leonard is still out.
He's not.
So the fact that they made the 8th seed without Kawhi Leonard is pretty impressive. There's still no timeline on whether he's going to be back. He had, I believe, an ACL injury, which takes forever to come back, especially in basketball. So 7-8 will play, and then 9-10, the Pelicans sneaking into the 9th spot without Zion Williams after they basically just started,
they
throwing
were
stuff away, and they picked up CJ McCollum, and I guess he's been pretty good. But they snuck into the 9th seed. Somehow, even though they're 10 games below 500, they get a chance to compete for a playoff spot. And then they'll get to play the Spurs, who are 14 games below 500, who have nobody. The Spurs have, nobody. And they're the 10th seed, and they'll play the Pelicans. And the winner of that will play the loser of Timberwolves Clippers, and that team will get the 8th seed. For just unknown, stupid reasons. I hate the play-in tournament so much.
Very much so, right?
I hate it so much. It's ridiculous. But anyway, yes, let's get to the fun part. The Los Angeles Lakers are out of the playoffs. Not even the play-in tournament. No LeBron, no AD, no Russell Westbrook, and they fired their coach, Frank Vogel. Which this season was not Vogel's fault. I don't care who you ask, who you talk to. If you built your team around LeBron, AD, and Westbrook, which I think was dumb anyway. But if you're going to do that, the fact that you didn't have AD for like half the season and Westbrook was like awful for most of the season, I can't put that on the coach.
At the end of the day, even though you're right, and you can't put that on Frank Vogel.
What are you going to do? Fire LeBron?
Yeah, I think LeBron can fire himself at this point. But, it's one of those things where it's like, it's got to fall on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, he just happened to be the scapegoat. So, you know what? Every champ has their downfall. And, LeBron James is LeBron James. That will never change. But, it's not like the Lakers deserve to be there. So, whatever.
Yep. And then kind of completing the downward spiral, the teams that are like, back down on the, we talked about how those teams, like the Suns, are kind of like flip back up. Well, on the flip end of that are the Kings, Blazers, Thunder, and Rockets.
Those teams were still, okay, for exception of the Rockets.
The Thunder, it wasn't even 10 years ago that they had Durant.
Rockets, except for the Rockets and Thunder.
The Blazers were a playoff team not too long ago.
Yeah, but
they did. They still won a playoff series, which was more than the Mavs did. If we're gonna be like that.
Are you really a Blazers fan? I think
no,
you're secretly.
I'm just pointing out the fact that it's an interesting phenomenon, though, where like we said, these teams are bad for a long time, and then they finally I guess that's what the draft is supposed to do, right? You get that player that kind of transforms.
Draft and free agency.
Yeah,
man.
You get that player that kind of transforms your franchise, and all of a sudden you're back up here, and then when you're back up here, you've usually spent your draft picks and such, and free agency and all your cap money, and then if you don't get it, you're just back down here because you don't have anything to build your team back up.
I'm waiting for the Kings to go up.
Yeah, that's the one team that's really been down there a hot minute.
I'm waiting like the Knicks have because the Knicks weren't they like they've dropped now, but like they were high in the East at one point.
Yeah, like in the 90s when Patrick Ewing was on there,
yeah,
they were a
that's what
solid
I'm saying.
team in the 90s.
So like I'm waiting for the Kings to get
the poor Kings. I don't remember the last time they were good.
Nobody does. Why do you think people in Sacramento usually root for other California basketball teams?
True. Oh, don't forget the Eastern Conference version of that, which is the Magic. I guess they had that one playoff run with Dwight. That was
they did, but at the same time, I see them still rooting for Miami.
Yeah. Speaking of Miami, they are the top seed in the East. The East was actually crazy. The top 10 teams, all the playoff teams, were within 10 games of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Miami won. The Celtics, Bucks, and 76ers all had the same record and were 2 games back. Celtics won the tiebreaker.
Mm.
Bucks third, 76ers fourth. Celtics have kind of been in this situation a lot, but they've just never been able to translate it into a title.
Getting over that hump.
Yeah, because they've had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for a hot minute and have done nothing with it.
When we saw those guys, and it was like, they're going to become stars, especially Jaylen Brown. Everybody kind of knew Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Well, and Jaylen Brown was there because that was when Kyrie was there.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, okay, there's something with this kid. And now, one of their star players.
Right. Bucks number 3, and nobody's surprised, is defending champs, bringing back pretty much the same team.
Yeah.
Giannis and Middleton are top tier. The 76ers, even though they were leading for a lot of it, again, they were only 2 games back, so it's not like they got blown out. It's just the Heat were on it. Jimmy Butler was on another level, and Tyler Hero especially. So we'll have to see
Jimmy
what
Butler's like, I'm going to use this view from Udonis Haslam.
True. I forgot about that. What a wacky team that is.
Oh, no, Miami's not normal, the city or the team, but,
The 76ers, yeah, so Embiid getting Harden in that trade. Looks like so far it's a win for the 76ers, but there's still, playoffs to come. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Doing better than the Nets are right now, so.
The Toronto Raptors.
Shout out to all my Torontonians.
4. They will be playing the 76ers in the first round. And honestly, there's kind of a sleeper team in terms of their best player is like Fred VanVleet.
Yep.
And then it's kind of a bunch of smaller names around him. And I was like, I had no expectations.
That's
for,
how we do it in Canada. We don't need the big names. We can do what we do what we need to do.
Drake's the biggest name, and he doesn't even play. Tell me I'm wrong. Drake's on the court more than like half the bench players.
It's hard being Canadian, man. It's hard.
What, you're not a Degrassi fan?
Ryan, I want you to understand something. When I come up to you and start quoting Walking Texas Ranger,
Walker, Texas Rangers,
I don't
sir.
care
You
what-
get Chuck Norris's TV show right.
I don't care nothing about that TV show. Just when I do that, then you know how it feels, pal. All right?
Sure. Go ahead and quote Dallas while you're at it too.
No!
I got
Why would
I got so many Texas TV shows. Bring it. All you got's Degrassi and Letterkenny, which is also a fantastic show.
No, also we have Total Drama Island, actually. That was based in Canada.
I never watched the show.
What? Never mind. Just get back to the NBA. Dang.
The Chicago Bulls, number 6, and they kind of had a little bit of a rough patch in the season after MVP Alex Caruso broke his wrist.
Again, the Bulls are like the Celtics to me, where it's like a team that has built up a lot of talent, but it's just that hump they can't get over
To
yet.
be fair, this is like the first time they've been in the playoffs in a while.
Yeah, I know, but like at the same time, it's just like we've all known that there's potential for them to do great things. So.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they do. They're going to have to go up against the Bucks.
Ooh.
It's a tough first round matchup.
Well, looks like somebody's getting knocked out, but you never know.
You never know. And then playing tournament, you have the Brooklyn Nets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have started to kind of get something going there.
I'll tell you what, it's the spirit of LeBron. It's still
Oh, is that the spirit of
it
LeBron?
is the spirit of LeBron James.
I see. It has
That thing is flowing through there like a draft in a bald guy's hair. I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure that the spirit of LeBron is what's bringing him along, and not Darius Garland putting up 21.7 points
because he's
per game
been
and Jared
possessed
Allen.
like The Exorcist.
That's any reason to get LeBron back to the.
You doggone Skippy. That's what I'm telling you.
They've actually put together like a team of like pretty interesting players. So now I'm looking at the roster because like I don't pay attention to the Cavaliers after
Nobody
LeBron
does.
left.
I don't think
But
people in Cleveland do.
Jarrett Allen was really good on the Nets, and they traded him over there.
Longhorn, what up?
Kevin Love is still over there. He's not.
K-Love.
He's getting older, but he's still doing. He's
Kevin
coming off the
Love
bench
is
and playing
Kevin
pretty
Love.
good. Karis LeVert was pretty good on the Nets as well. He was part of that trade.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio had a nice career, and he's been doing pretty
I
good.
forgot about Ricky Rubio.
Lauri Markkanen was I think he was from the Bulls and he got signed in free agency or traded, but he was a solid player. So they've put like a solid young kind of group of players out there that can hang. I'm not sure about a title run yet, but you've got a good base there.
Spirit of the King.
Unfortunately, you have to go up against the Nets in the first round of the play-in tournament, and it's a Nets that now that they've taken out the vaccine mandate, Kyrie gets to play at home.
Oh,
So-
great. The man who thinks the earth is flat.
Hey, the Earth is flat, and 5G is gonna wipe all our brains. So let's play some basketball. See, if the Earth is flat, that actually makes it easier to shoot the basketball because then the curvature of the Earth is not affecting your shot.
I think the curvature of Kyrie's brain affects his ability to function. That's what I think. This man went to Duke, and I bet you he thinks that that's some code for, I don't know, a despicable lizard group or something. I don't know.
And then number 9, Atlanta Hawks will take on number 10 Charlotte Hornets. And then the winner of that will take on the loser of Brooklyn and Cleveland. And man, every time I think about Atlanta, I keep thinking about the Trey versus Luka debate.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, because like the Hawks aren't bad and Trey Young's not bad. But every time I'm like, I feel like Luka, like we won when we got Luka.
Which we did. I feel like that's kind of safe to say.
Because, Trey's not bad, but I'm like, man, Luka can do just
so much
more, especially like get 16 technicals. Actually 15, but the NBA rescinded that other one. Dude, you know what? That's really the messed up thing about his calf was he got his 16th technical the game before. So he was going to be suspended for last night's game. And then the NBA rescinded it, so he got to play. And then ended up straining his calf in a game that didn't mean anything because the Warriors beat the Pelicans. So there was no seeding change.
Well, you're able to get away with it, I guess.
And then Knicks, Wizards, Pacers, Pistons, Magic, again, all missing the playoffs.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
Oh, yeah. NBA playoffs, play-in tournaments starting tomorrow.
I know Ryan can't wait for that. You guys may not know this, but the play-in tournament is actually Ryan's favorite part of, the NBA playoffs.
The problem is I have to watch it because this is what I want to do for a living.
Yeah, I know. He gets to do this throughout his entire life.
Yeah, how many play-in tournaments?
Talk about the play-in tournament.
How many play-in tournaments am I going to get to watch?
I don't know, Ryan, but you know what? You got to make the most out of it because play-in tournaments, they can make or break you as a human being. And
they break me every day.
No, I know. And one day when you have little Ryan Jr., you're going to get to explain to him.
I remember back when there was no play-in tournament.
Exactly.
When all 16 teams get to participate in the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Conference.
Pretty much. And then your son's going to be like, you know what, Dad, I want to go.
This is basketball now, old man.
No, what if your son plays basketball and then and he makes it to the NBA and he's a star and he gets to play in the play-in tournament?
That would be a genetic miracle because I'm 5'8" and my wife is 5'4".
So just JJ Barea, just handle that.
You're right. Well, just JJ Barea, son, you're going to learn how to dribble and pass.
John Stockton did.
True. So Tuesday, Cavaliers, Nets, Clippers, Timberwolves. That'll be the 7th versus 8th place. Wednesday will be the Hornets, Hawks, and Spurs, Pelicans, 9-10. And then Friday will be the 2 8th seed games before everything else kicks off on Saturday. The 8th seeds, really, one of them is going to... Oh, whoever has to play the Grizzlies gets the short end of the stick because they're going to play... No, they'll play Sunday. Never mind. I take that back. They get a day to rest, but then you got to travel. So really, you don't.
So really, it's not a day of rest because that day of rest
you're
is travel
traveling.
day.
Yeah, unless you're leaving. Well, you can't even Yeah, you'd probably have to leave the next day unless you're so confident you're going to win. You're going to charter a flight. Maybe if you're one of those teams, the private plane. You got the plane ready in case you win, and then you take off.
I don't know what team doesn't have a private plane.
That's a good point.
I would figure you all need to. I can't imagine. John Morant walking through the airport at Continental and being can you sit me in first class?
He's just walking through. It's is that John Morant? No,
it's not John Morant.
He'd have to have it. He's got his own play. They got their own play, surely. He's are you sure the dude's 6'7"? I'm no, it can't. It can't.
There's no basketball players
There's no basketball players. No way.
It's everybody's got their own private plane, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to be watching at least, even though I hate the play-in tournament. I'll watch. Let's see how it goes.
You going to be watching and complaining the whole time?
Pretty much. Be these two teams have already been in the playoffs. Now they got to play each other. Why not just extend the season by 2 games and call it a day?
Oh, my gosh. You're going to be the grumpy old man.
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting on my front porch with a rocking chair going, these darn kids don't know how good they have it now.
And as your rocking chair has 46 massage functions.
Every team gets to go to the playoffs now. Everybody gets a medal.
Like I said, as your rocking chair has 46 different massage functions.
Yes, for sure.
Gonna put a massage chair in your front yard?
Oh yeah, why not? Technology, man.
Why don't you have that in your living room? Why is it going to be in your front yard?
Who says I won't have one in both spots?
Why would you have your living room in your front yard?
No, I'd have a chair in the living room and a chair in the front yard.
Would you put that? It's you could put your living room in your front yard?
Yeah.
What?
Just open it up. A nice sliding door so you can get out. I can just waltz up. I can move from my... See, here's the plan, right? Living room with a sliding door.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my living room, I've got a massage chair with a big, flat screen TV.
Uh-huh.
And then I can just waltz outside when the weather's nice to my other flat screen TV and my other massage
so what
chair.
are you going to do when the weather's not nice and it rains on your stuff?
It'll be covered.
You gonna cover it with what, Ryan?
It'll be like in a little overhang. It's not gonna be all out. No, yeah. I'm not just gonna throw out a TV outside.
So it's kind of like a patio then.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically a patio with that I can get behind.
Yeah, and just a sliding glass door in between.
So would it be upstairs or downstairs? I would just
Probably
say upstairs. Upstairs for me, because the view accompanying that would be great. Just me personally.
Oh, well, that's bold of you to assume I'm going to be living anywhere with a view.
Hey, Brian, I'm here to help you achieve your
view
dreams,
of
man.
the house next door is going to be a great view. I'd be like, oh, what are they doing in there?
If that's the case,
Hey, what are y'all watching over there?
if that's the case, then if you got a neighborhood association, they're not gonna let you put a chair in your front yard.
Are you guys watching the play-in tournament too? This is garbage.
If that's the case, they're not gonna let you put a chair in your front yard.
Why not?
Because the homeowners association.
Who says there's a homeowners association?
And why would you purposefully want to live that close to somebody to where you can just like?
I'm not saying it's purposefully, but the housing market. Who knows what the housing market's going to be like in 10 years? I hope I have a house before 10 years.
I want you to live next to LeBron.
You know what? If I have enough money that I can live in a house next to LeBron, I will wake up every morning and go, "Hello, Mr. James."
No, I want you to do that because I want LeBron to be able to come out and be like, "Hey, Mr. Baldwin, how are you doing today, sir? How's your day going?" So you can take back, so you can swallow your word.
No, see, because then there's have to be two ways that I have to go about it. I have to be either nice to him, or I have to like meet him out front. Like he'd have to walk out, and I have to like walk out at the same time to get the paper and just stare him down the whole way. Be like, oh.
Yeah, please stare down a man that is 6'8" and
oh yeah, I'd
6'9"
probably
and
be like, oh,
Just like-
LeBron James here.
as he asked for his autograph.
For every birthday, just leave a cake at his door that says number 2.
Yes.
Jordan was better.
Oh wow!
Just as a reminder.
Wow, what are you inviting Skip Bayless over to your house that day?
Man, if I got enough money to live next to LeBron James, then probably. I'll probably be best friends with Skip Bayless at that point.
That is hilarious. Oh my God. You know what? I want you to do that for the I want you to do all of that. Live next to LeBron, put a chair in your yard, just all of it.
Oh, I will. You watch me. 10 years from now, it's going to happen. All right, let's take a break so Mason can collect himself after that. Oh, coming up next, we're going to talk jerseys.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
We're going to pull out the fashionista in
Oh,
both
yeah.
of us.
No, I've been looking forward to this.
And we're going to talk about the best and worst college football jerseys of all time. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the main event.
Yeah.
Ryan Baldwin here with Mason Shepard.
Yeah.
Ready to talk sports adjacent.
Yeah.
Not straight sports this time.
Yeah.
It's kind of sports.
Yeah.
Anyway, jerseys.
Oh, yeah. College football, to be specific.
College football jerseys. Now, before we get into the jerseys.
Oh, you forgot to ask me,
Oh, right. Yes. What flavor do we have for this segment?
The flavor of the segment, grape. I know, ladies and gentlemen, it's what was in the bag.
We just hated on grape, and you're going to go with grape.
At least it's not orange.
Anyway, Blow Pop Central over there. Would you agree that jersey culture has become more of a thing in the past couple of decades?
Yeah, because I know I'm a part of it. Because that even translates to video games in the sense of like, I've always been someone when I'm playing football, like when with Madden or NCAA when I was fortunate enough to, I'm the one switching the helmets and getting the jerseys, creating combinations and stuff. Because I think like when you want to see something that kind of catches your eye, a great jersey mashup. Now, sure, does the team win when they wear certain stuff? Absolutely, probably no. But like, it's still 50-50 no matter what you wear. But at the same time, like, I think a good jersey, like a uniform that looks dope and clean, it creates interest. And so with me, whenever I would play Madden or watch a game or, whatever, like with Madden, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to. That's why some of my favorite teams to play with are the Steelers or the Lions, because they have great combinations for like the stuff you can do. So I think jersey culture is very big, personally.
And I think it's really kind of been in the last couple decade, really, since like the 2000s, that's kind of been a thing, right? Because like, especially
Yeah.
in the 90s when I remember watching. And some of the people had like third jerseys, but really it was like home and away.
Yeah.
And you maybe had a third jersey that you wore occasionally.
Honestly,
And that was across all sports.
yeah, but honestly, even growing up in the early 2000s and seeing the 90s and the 80s, and even in the early 2000s, you only got like custom jerseys from like certain shops. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you only got jerseys like, oh my God, that's not what the team wears. It's kind of different from like places who would make them. You know what I mean? So, because yeah, the regular teams, it was just home and away.
Yeah.
So.
But the fact that we now have this, and I think part of it is it does generate hype for a team to come out and be able to display these new uniforms and stuff. But the other part of it also is just money. Like you can't, there's
Yeah, Under Armour ain't cheap. So
well, yeah, and I mean, let's pretend like the NFL, if they can if they're gonna get somebody to buy a jersey because they like a different color of that player than their regular jerseys, they're gonna do that all day long.
I mean, if we're being honest, that's really who it's for.
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, because like you said, like and I think football started doing because of basketball. Now, basketball was that one sport where they were changing jerseys more often back then,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because people wear basketball jerseys on the street. They wear them with the snapback caps backwards with a nice pair of shoes or whatever. And so football was seeing that and they're like, okay, we can make money off this because people especially in the early 2000s were wearing jerseys, especially with rappers wearing jerseys with chains and stuff like that. So they were like, okay, how do we make it different? Let's make deals with Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, whatever, and get them to start making custom jerseys so that not only the guys could wear in the street, but they can wear, they can wear on the field, but also in the street and stuff like that for the fans. I think that's why the more jerseys like that were created because of fans and what we would do with them in other avenues in our lives.
Yeah. But now every sport has every sport. There are soccer teams with like 4 or 5 different jersey combinations. College football teams having 4 or 5. Heck, I think even the NHL, like the Dallas Stars, have like home, away, and like 2 alternates. And it's just like now there's every opportunity you have. Like when I'm playing NBA 2K, there's like 6 different jersey combinations with different styles. And there's like, each style has like a home and away, like color scheme. And so now there's just all kinds
It just catches your eye. Like
Yeah.
I know playing with the Chicago Bears and Madden, when they have those Michigan style helmets where it's stuff that catches my attention and the stripes and stuff like that. And you can control whether you win in the game or not. So it's much more fun than, like I said, when you watch it live, it's like, okay, it's cool, but they still might lose.
Right. So in the spirit of that, we might make this a series depending on how this goes, but we're going to start with college football.
Oh, no, we're making it a series.
The
'cause
best
it's
and
interesting.
worst. Do you want to go first?
Here's how we're going to do it, folks.
And I'll
I'm
put
gonna
these up in the video for y'all to
Yeah.
watch so you can see
So for
these
now,
when we go through.
he's just going to show me, and whatever I
Yep.
name, he'll pull up. So, how we're going to do this is I'll name mine top 5, he'll name his top 5, and, bottom 5, whatever. So my jerseys, I really just went by school. I didn't really go like specific jersey. I went like schools who have the best jerseys. Number 1 on my list is Ole Miss.
Just standard Ole Miss.
I like their blue and red, but also like if you've ever seen when you look them up, when you see they're all white, but they've got like the American flag and the Ole Miss like letters. It's fire, man. And I think,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah, like you see that, like
Yeah.
it looks good. It's crisp.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yep,
Yep,
like that
okay.
looks very good. And then you have like the baby powder blue. I know that's not one of your favorite things, but like that even looks good to me at least and stuff like that. So Ole Miss, I think definitely has some fire jerseys, man.
Okay.
And I think because you like watching playing in them, so definitely that. And I definitely think when they choose to break the silver out and like the lining, it looks very crisp. And speaking of silver lining, my next one, Oklahoma State. They have like the Cowboys when they wear their all orange or all black. And they've got the silver cowboy, or they wear their all black and the white cowboy, but it's got silver around it. And it's just stuff like that. It looks very clean, very crisp. And they're actually a good football team. So when they win in those, it looks better.
Yeah, okay.
And then number 3, my Oregon Ducks. I say my as a joke. I'm a Longhorns fan till I die. But the Oregon Ducks, we all know what they look like. that powder yellow, that pastel yellow, the all white silver, the all pink silver. Even they went all black, of course, silver with that too, but with a little bit of yellow lighting a little bit. Oregon, if you can make the argument in college football, Oregon was the one who really ushered in that era of, if you want to play good, sometimes you got to look good first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think whenever you think of alternate uniforms, most people instantly think Oregon.
I don't think Oregon plays in anything but alternate uniforms at this point.
And they keep coming up with stuff too.
And I mean, some stuff looks good, and some stuff looks like a psychedelic concert.
Just wait until I get there. Yep.
Yeah. 4, going back to the Big 12. Baylor, they're all yellow, looks very clean. They're green and yellow. They're white. Baylor's got these black. My favorite one is the Baylor, what they got. Besides yellows, when they do like kind of the more traditional Baylor symbol, but it's got black and it's the gold BU and it's outlined in green and it's the silver. Well, not even silver, it's the all black, the face mask, like the helmet and everything. It's very clean, very crisp. And then staying in the Big 12, we're going to go gig 'em because Texas, I hate that I almost said A&M. Texas Tech is very much
Wait, you said gig 'em.
Wait, what is Texas Tech
Guns
again?
Up is...
Guns Up? Oh, my God. My mom is a Red Raider. She'll kill me. And my dad is, too. They'll kill me.
Don't show her this episode. Don't show them
I won't show my dad, more specifically. I've had A&M on the brain. Yeah, Texas Tech, when you look at, like, red and black is always a good color scheme, but when you have, like, white, red, and black, and then you have black on black, and then a little bit of red, and then you have red, and then you have your black, and then it's like red and white and black. But they've able to cultivate that, and sometimes they'll stripe them. Sometimes it's more down the line a little bit. But yeah, Texas Tech has some very clean uniforms. Like they look so good. So yeah, those. So Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Baylor, Texas Tech for my best 5.
All right, that's a solid one. So I got a little bit more specific on some of them, but that's fine. We'll just kind of go over them. And none of these are in particular order for me in terms of they're just the ones that I think look the best.
Yeah.
But in that kind of general, so like I'll say number 5.
Yeah.
But like there's a couple of college uniforms that are so iconic and so classic that they just don't get changed, like Bama, Penn State. And that to me has a special level of like, there's something about the Bama where it's like the A and the number, and that's it. And then you got the name, and it's just, there's no special, there's no decoration. It is straight up.
It fits with the school's mystique. And I work with that.
Like, when you see Bama, when you think of Bama football, part of it is you see like 11 guys on the field with the same uniform, and there's no like special craziness to it or anything. It's just straight
They're
up.
like soldiers.
It's the Tide. Yeah, it is the Roll Tide.
Yeah.
So, I think any like that. So that Bama Penn State kind of deal where it is a very like traditional old school look, but it's so iconic that they haven't touched it. That's up there. So I think LSU is up there too. There's a couple other ones, but
Georgia should also be up there in that regard.
Yeah. And then there's a couple of alternates that I think are 10 out of 10. Starting with, you mentioned earlier, but the Baylor golden chrome helmet and black look.
Woo!
That gold chrome helmet is just... Ooh,
well, that is sweet.
It is purty. I really like the gold chrome, too, for something. I think it's just because it pops with the black. There's something about that specific color
even gold
scheme.
Chrome with navy blue, like what Notre Dame does.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when Notre Dame goes all green, and it's still got that gold chrome.
There's something about the gold chrome.
Gold Chrome.
There's something about the gold chrome.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is sponsored by Gold Chrome.
Then next, I've got the Boise State matte black.
I've seen it, but you still show it to me because it's still Boise.
That's not a great pick, but there's something about. Let me see if I can find a better picture. But the matte black, and it's probably all this is personal preference.
Well, I'm not
too.
gonna knock it. It doesn't look bad.
But yeah, there's something about the matte black jerseys and helmets that just kind of like it looks good on the field, especially when it's there's the blue highlights. That's a little bit better. But like especially
that's much better. Yeah.
on there's the blue highlights in the face mask and in the jersey,
Yeah, that's
and then
dope,
when
yeah.
when it's on the blue field, it really just there's that contrast, but it's still highlighted by the blue. Something about that combination just really, and the matte black with the Bronco on there, the silver Bronco.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I like that one. Next, I've got that's 3, and then I've got 2 specific Oregon ones. I've got the Oregon all white Stormtrooper look with the silver lining.
That is sweet.
That is clean. I think that was like one of the first ones they did too. That like when that was their, and it's got the little wing kind of thing on the side.
Looks so fresh, so fresh and so clean.
The all whites look really clean, and then the other one, I think this one is actually the, this was back in 2012, so this was when they were really starting to roll it out, and this is when they had like the liquid metal like silver chrome on the green back in 2012.
Yeah, because that's when the uniform was still Oregon colored, but the helmet changed.
Was like ridiculously reflectively chrome, and that was. And then again, this was back in 2012, so when it was still kind of picking up steam in alternate uniforms, and for them to come out like that, there's blew my mind.
I think Oregon is just one of those teams, like their look, and even where they're from, like Oregon itself, because that makes their uniforms always make me want to play them more in college football and stuff like that.
Just to play with the bright silver helmets.
Yeah.
So that's my 5. For best, you got your classics, and then you've got like those really nice, clean alternates.
All right, no problem with that. But on my worst 5, number 1, now we can say Gig 'em A&M.
What?
Oh, they look like crap.
What?
No, that maroon red is it's so uninspiring. But then again, it is A&M, so it makes sense. But
my parents are both Aggies. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry that you have to listen to this blasphemy. Coming out Mason's mouth.
I'm a Longhorn. Deal with it. Ooh. But no. There's just another. Even when they went all white, because I know Manziel, they used to play with like the all white and like the red and the maroon. It's just It's just I'm not feeling it. I mean, it's sad when I can feel Arkansas's uniforms more than A&M, and Arkansas is a whole nother dumpster fire.
That must be the Longhorn in you coming out. There's some preconceived bias in this one.
Okay, prove me wrong. Pull up A&M stuff right now and prove me wrong.
It's another classic one. It's like it's maroon. They've had the same thing for forever.
You're gonna hate my list then.
Like what you got? Like you got Bama and Georgia and the people in LSU. Oh my! All right, keep going.
I got. No, before we get to Bama, number 2 is USC.
Boy, you are full on. You are letting your Longhorn dictate everything.
No, I mean, no, legitimately, USC's uniforms are they're so bland. Like, I hate that red and faded gray face. No, like, USC's stuff is so uninspiring, and
You're letting your Longhorn
I don't like it.
Take advantage
like,
of
okay, you tell me I'm wrong when you see the red helmet with the yellow emblem, the white shirt with the yellow-red pants, and then black and white cleats. They look terrible. No. And then the gray glove. Ugh. No, it's just ain't it. And then number 3, yes, is Alabama. But here's the thing. With Bama, I understand why. That's the difference. I don't like it, but and I say I don't like it. It's not the most visually appealing, but I understand why, because they're a traditional team and they have traditional values and they win. So it's not like I'm going to knock Bama's completely, but but at the same time, it's just like, spice them up a little bit. Saban, spice them up a little bit, but I know they won't, and that's okay because it's Bama, and I know the tradition behind it, what it means. But same thing for Georgia. I'm just gonna go ahead and put Georgia there because like spice them up a little bit. They could go all red. I'm not all red, but they could go like red uniform, they black and red, and they could do something. But I get, why not? Whatever. But this other one is going to surprise you because you're not gonna know exactly why.
Okay.
Michigan State. No. Look up their alternate uniform and tell me that that's not ugly. It's their regular, bless you, their regular green and white. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But then they've got lime green just in there, and it's like,
Oh, you're right. Okay.
yeah,
I'll give you that one. That's pretty bad.
That's bad. Like, it's just this random
Lime green pants and then
it's
lime
just,
green
yeah,
state.
it's just this random lime green.
Oh, I'm just
Bless
allergic to those pants, man. That's awful.
Right?
Jesus.
It's just this random lime green where it's like, what?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. Other than that, I think your Big 12/Texas bias
It
is
has
coming
nothing
out.
to do with that. They're just ugly. I'm sorry.
Well, just wait till you see my 5, because again,
I can't wait.
I went a little deeper into this one,
Mhm.
and there are some awful alternates that I think people have forgotten about because they were so bad. This one I will put in order because there are some that are just bad.
Okay.
And we're gonna start off with Oregon because they've tried a bunch of different stuff and a lot of it's worked.
I
But
think I know which one this is
if
going to be.
you come out looking like an Easter egg on your jersey, that is a bad look. And the eggshell, like duck egg jersey is awful.
It's not the worst. The worst one they did was when it was the kaleidoscope of the yellow mixing with the green and everything.
I still think this was
but
bad.
the eggshell, I get it.
It looks like they went and rolled around in mud before the game even started to look tough. I was like, what? Why are they dirty? They're playing on turf. And they're like, no, that's just the jersey. What? What do you mean this? You willingly came out looking like you rolled around in mud? I thought the whole point was to look clean. And not like literally and figuratively, no? But no, you come out looking like an egg, like you just played in the dirt, and your mama's got to tell you, come inside, I got to wash that later. You got to do the laundry.
I mean, it's not that bad, but I get you.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, but it's not
pretty bad.
that bad.
Up next is going to be a Kansas Jayhawks uniform.
Really?
Yes. And this is one of their alternates from like back in 2014. And it is just an ugly it is an ugly shade of red.
That is Ronald McDonald. That is horrible.
It is an ugly shade of red with a big, and the Kansas Jayhawk is kind of their thing, but you need it's not a it's not like a fear-inspiring mascot, right? He looks like a nice bird, and then to have him like blown up jumbo size on the helmet, terrible. And then the weird random like off blue purple color KU logo right there was it's just a bad look all the way around. I saw that and I was like, I can't believe somebody was like, you know what? That's fine. That's great. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, that red does not do them any favors. It doesn't work.
No. Now, this is the best picture I could find for this one, but this is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Colorado Buffaloes in 2009 had an alternate uniform that barely looked like it qualified as a practice jersey, let alone an actual jersey.
Oh, I forgot about I have not seen those in years.
Yeah. It looks like practice uniforms.
Yeah.
And the most uninspired little whoop on the helmet that you wouldn't even know it's horns unless you knew it was the Colorado Buffaloes, because otherwise it just looks like a little Nike swoop thing.
Mm-hmm.
No names. The numbers look awful. And I don't even know what color that is. Some kind of gold
Let me see it
thing.
again.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's a little off yellow.
Yeah. The whole thing is bad.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's an easy number 3. That I looked at that and I was like, I can't believe somebody approved that one. Now these two are really close. And I'm not sure which one I dislike more. So I'm going to start with Florida.
I was about to put Florida on my list.
I know you know which one I'm talking about. Back in 2017, for some reason, somebody at the University of Florida said, hey, what if we did a jersey that looked like gator skin? Because that's going to be great, right?
Oh, my God.
Right? No. Awful. Terrible. Look at this. It doesn't even look like good gator skin.
Yeah, no, that was so bad.
It looks like somebody took an old lady's handbag and put it onto a jersey. The helmet, pretty cool.
But then that doesn't even go with that.
No, it's like a black helmet and the gator's kind of stylized, a dark color. That's cool. But dude.
Yeah.
I still can't believe somebody like brainstormed that was like, oh yeah, that would be really cool. No, just terrible.
I think the alligators turned over when they saw that.
Yes. Awful. And then the other one that I couldn't figure out which one I liked least. In 2013, Texas Tech had alternate uniforms. They are called the Lone Survivor uniforms.
Uh-huh.
Gray on gray with black and red stripes going not down the side of the pants, but the back of the pants, like starting at the butt cheek and going down.
Mm.
And the helmet didn't even have the TT on there. It just said never quit a bunch of times in like red and some kind of weird color. And then on the back, there was no names. It also said never quit. And here is a couple of pictures. And you just look at it and go, what does this have to do?
Oh.
Like, why are those stripes there? Why not put them down the side of the pants?
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, and then
that's pretty bad.
And then look at these helmets.
Yeah.
Like what is that? What color is that supposed to be?
That's horrible. See, this is the tech that I was talking about. That's horrible.
That's awful. And then like the hilarious part is they wore these jerseys in like a 49 to like 21 loss or something, and they certainly gave up and quit in that game. But yeah, those were some like of the individual ones where I was just like, I cannot believe somebody, like a group of people actually went like, yes, this is going to be okay. They put it on a mannequin and still went like, yeah, everybody will love those.
Yeah.
And you know how I know they're terrible? Never worn again.
Oh yeah.
Nobody.
like I said, I forgot that they even existed. So like when you showed them to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember these.
I don't think I'm actually maybe Oregon has done the eggshell ones again since then, but
they have. I've seen them.
But that's why that one's
better than that.
Yeah, I mean the Jayhawk one are awful.
The Jayhawk one was my least favorite. No. The Tech one was my least favorite. That looked horrible. But Jayhawk one was so off-putting.
Yes.
Oh, you know another team that does have good uniforms though. Iowa State. Iowa State has good ones.
Yeah.
They're all black, and then when they go white and stuff like that, that's really good. But I saw West Virginia was on people's bad. West Virginia's isn't really that bad to me.
No.
But at the same time, I get why they're on there.
It's just kind of uninspired, in my opinion, like the West Virginia ones.
Yeah, I mean, well, what about Michigan? Because that one I was debating.
That one I put also in kind of like the classic one because they haven't really changed very much either, and they've got with the just the like little claw thing kind of going down.
Yeah, which I mean, it's not the worst, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst, but at the same time, it's like, it's uninspiring. It's like the same thing with like the Wisconsin Badgers, where it's like, are you going to do anything different? See, I don't understand why you can get those and why I do that. But when I say the same thing about Bama or USC or A&M, it's like...
Oh, you nearly put those on the bad list. I thought, okay. No.
Yeah, they're on the bad list because they're uninspiring.
I meant like I put those on the same level as like, like the classics. Like the
Yeah, I get that.
Bama,
but just because it's classic
LSU,
doesn't mean it looks good.
I would even put UTs up there too.
No, that
the
one,
Longhorns.
You notice
that's a classic one.
I kept my Longhorns off the list because
because that would be the ultimate hypocrite if you put Bama and USC and A&M there and in the bottom and then put Texas up top.
I was never gonna do that, but like that's the thing is like Texas's uniforms I would never say are bad because to me they're not. It's one of those things where it's like that crisp burnt orange and that white, it just works. Plus we've at least silverized like, the Longhorn symbol before, so
I think there's still some bias.
Ryan, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater, man.
I'm not gonna hate.
So which one are we doing, NFL next week? Or are we gonna go to college basketball to stick with college?
I don't feel like college basketball doesn't have as many like
they
alternates.
Don't. They really don't, to be honest with you. Like
no.
It's all right. NFL it is.
NFL it is. We want to do all time. Or should we do like modern and then do like an all time?
Modern and then all time. So we'll do NFL back to back. We're gonna go modern then all time.
Because there's a lot of like, especially since they started doing like Color Rush and stuff like that.
Exactly.
There's a lot more, but then there's also some really clean classic uniforms too. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for the main event.
Yep.
Another fantastic show. Another wonderful time talking sports with Mason Shepard.
Boom.
Big ol' thank you to Mark Lambert and Dan Bala for letting us use the Green Studio deep in the heart of Denton, Texas. And until next week,
stay main event. I don't know. We haven't come up with a catchphrase yet.
I'll have a catchphrase by next week. Have a great time. Bye.
Boom.